Hello and welcome, my digital nomads. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over what jobs are relatively protected from AI and automation. Now, I'm going to go over this from my channel because if you are new to this channel, I go over a lot of software tools and AI tools that will help increase your workflow and productivity. So, real quick, the way I'm going to do this is very unique. I'm going to go ahead and ask an AI what it thinks are going to be protected from AI and automation. And the way I'm going to do that is I just go to ChatGPT and I type in jobs that AI will not take over. Okay. And this is what it has. It says it is difficult to predict with certainty which jobs a artificial intelligence or AI will not take over in the future. However, there are certain jobs that require a high degree of creativity, emotional intelligence, and human connection, which may be less susceptible to automation. And here are some examples. Now, I'm going to go over it and I'm going to then give my response to what I feel if is it true or not, because like I said again, I use a lot of AI software. All right, so creative professions such as artists, musicians, and writers, as AI does not have the same level of imagination and originality as humans. I would have to say this is kind of 50-50. And I know this might be shocking to some people, but I'm starting to see AI, develop music. Is it good? Is it as bad as a human? No, but the fact that it's there means that I think it can be pushed further. Same with art. I have a few, I've assembled quite a few AI image generators, and some of them are pretty bad, but others are pretty decent. And it's just getting better every single year. So, am I going to say is artist obsolete? No, I'm not going to say that, but I'm saying that it's AI is definitely going to crowd that space, right? And it's going to be competition. If you are artist within that, you might have to incorporate AI in the future, right? So it's not a doom and gloom video. I just want to kind of put this out there. And the reason why I put this out there is because I got a lot of comments on my channel saying, "Oh, why do you show AI image generators? It puts artists out of work." Look, this technology is coming. All right, it's already here actually, and you can do one of two things. You could either, bury your head in the sand and hope and pray that nothing happens, or it be ignorant, right? Or you can go ahead and see the coming change and change with the technology so that you don't become outdated. So that's why this video is important. I just want to bring it out there. All right, so artists, musicians, writers. Now, I also deal with a lot of content writers, and I have to say, is it as good as a human being? Some cases, it's better. I'm gonna be very absolutely brutal about this. In some cases, it's better. I've hired a lot of freelancers on Fiverr, and their writing was really, really atrocious. And the stuff that I get from AI, which actually got me into AI because I got tired of getting junk from Fiverr writers. Uh, AI writers, when it comes to certain things, like maybe product description or maybe like terms of service, it does. I think it does better than a human writer. Other writers writing such as nonfiction, or sorry, such as fiction, it still needs a bit of work. Okay, it's not there yet. But the fact that they can write story plots, you can see the beginning of that concept in some of these AI tools. So some of them, these are very new AI tools, but I can see within the next 5 year, 10 years, it's definitely going to be a game changer. So if I was in those professions, I would not consider it safe. Right. Next, and let's be honest, our artists, musicians, and writers, it's a tough career choice without the AI. Okay, we took out the AI. It was already tough. Now that you have AI in that space, my recommendation, if you are an artist, music, or writer, learn to embrace AI tools and technology and use it. Okay, don't say, oh, this is evil, and kind of push it away. If you're an artist, try to see if you can incorporate AI art with your own art and make something better. Combine the two. Same with musician and same with writers. Okay, that's my caveat number one. Number two, healthcare professionals, including doctors, nurses, therapists, who require empathy, intuition, and critical thinking to diagnose and treat patients. Well, okay, number two, this is just going to be anecdotal evidence. This is my personal evidence, one person's evidence. But healthcare professionals, maybe it's because I've had really bad healthcare, but the majority of healthcare professionals that I've dealt with, whether in armed service uh, or outside the armed services within the United States, they don't have any empathy. These doctors are kind of like checking the box really quickly. If I was in the army and I went to a doctor, you have a broken leg, they would just give you penicillin and tell you to walk it off. So and literally for everything, right? So empathy, yeah, I agree. Healthcare professionals do, it does help to have empathy, but many of them don't, either because they're flooded with too many patients, or maybe they just did it for the money or the wrong reasons. But I'm just putting it out there. Nurses, therapists, they require critical thinking to diagnose and treat the patients. Hmm. I think when it comes to this area right here, again, AI will and robotics will take a huge play within this field, because to train a doctor is expensive. If you're in the U.S., you got to go through 4 years of undergraduate, four years of medical school, and a minimum of 3 years of residency, and then you have like a mountain of debt, and then you start your life. Um, a lot of them work a lot of hours to kind of make up for, to pay off the debt. And oftentimes, because they're tired, they might misdiagnose or mistreat patients. I've seen and read about hospitals using kind of like maybe an AI slash database to kind of triage patients, and guide the patients in the right direction when a doctor oversees it. So I do see, AI incorporating within the healthcare profession, and also remote surgery. That might come into play. Uh, so that might be something that medical professionals might want to keep an eye on. Okay, but yeah, the cost to train a doctor, and this what's not mentioned here is also pharmacists. Pharmacists, let's say within the army, they had like basically a vending machine for medication. All right, this is like way back in the day, and then 20 years later, right now they're starting to roll that out, and you can start seeing pharmacists getting replaced by these vending machines in certain pharmacies. So you want to kind of be aware that if your job within the healthcare professional is critical, like highly critical thinking, or maybe you got to do some kind of surgery, I could see how your job is still secure. But if it's repetitive work, like kind of like pharmacy, and the reason why I could say that is I worked as a pharmacy technician, and I worked with pharmacists within the U.S., and a lot of them, basically they counted pills and tried to decipher the doctor's handwriting. All right, so that's that. Okay, I do see a bit of automation in there. All right. I would say that's up for grabs. Social work and counselors who provide emotional support and guidance to individuals facing challenging situations. I see this is true. I agree that social workers are needed, and I don't think a robot will replace that anytime soon. However, social workers don't really get paid that much. Right? That's the downside. I mean, yeah, will AI replace it? Probably not in the near future. I could say that, but it's a tough job with limited funding depending on where you work. Right, so I just want to put that out there. Teachers and educators who require the ability to connect with students, tailor their teaching methods to different learning styles, and provide mentorship and guidance. Um, yeah, you can see more remote learning. Um, I can also see in some areas where when it comes to language and there's like repetitive training, certain things that you have to just basically memorize flashcard style. I can see that being incorporated within the teacher program. Um, But teachers, no, I don't think teachers will be replaced by AI anytime soon. The caveat to that is the same as the first one. I'm just going to piggyback off the first social workers, is that teachers within the U.S. don't get they don't get paid much. They don't get paid well, and like AI replace teachers, probably not. But then you have other things like you know kind of like overseas teachers now getting shipped into the U.S. Because they got to fill positions. Like they have a whole bunch of empty positions within the schools. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. All right. Next, even without AI, the job of being a teacher is challenging. You gotta fight politics, and then you gotta fight funding, and you gotta fight a whole bunch of things. So, and then now AI, I think teachers will have to incorporate AI into their curriculum in order to allow their students to be able to adapt with the times. All right, number 5, skilled tradespeople such as plumbers, electrician, and mechanic who require hands-on expertise and problem solving skills. Yeah, I agree with this one. Number 5, I agree with wholeheartedly that if you're a tradesperson who does plumbing, electrician, or a machinist, you might be able to see like the robotic arms, like kind of doing spot welding. Um, but for custom work, it's a bit different, right? So I would agree that tradespeople, for the near future, won't be should be safe from AI, right, and automation. Number 6, professionals that involve complex decision making. Professions that involve complex decision making, such as judges and lawyers who need to interpret and apply the law and legal precedents to unique situations. All right, yeah, that's kind of that's true. You need people to interpret the law. So I don't see you know lawyers getting kind of taken over by AI, but there is there's a but on there. Lawyers within the U.S. It's there's a lot of lawyers. There's a lot of lawyers, and there's a lot of hours that they got to work. So this is also a tough job, without the AI factor in. But yeah, I do agree that complex decision making, such as judges and lawyers, will be should be safe from AI. Now, last one is professions that require a high degree of adaptability and creativity, such as entrepreneurs and innovators, right, who are constantly pushing boundaries and creating new ideas. Yeah, I agree with that. Like if you're, one of the weaknesses, I think one of the weaknesses of, well, let me go with the strength. One of the strengths of AI is that I think they do repetitive tasks very well. And if it's content writing, for example, they do a standard answer pretty well. But if you want to look for something, a unique answer, off the wall answer, out of the box thinking, that's where it kind of it's weak. Now that might change in the future. I can't say for sure, but as of right now, that's one of the Achilles heels of AI, and that's why innovators or people who are creative, like inventors, basically idea generators, for short. I think their jobs are safe. So this is overall, it is important to remember that while AI may be able to automate some tasks, it cannot replace the human connection and creativity that is essential in many professions. Okay, yeah, I agree with the creativity. And when it comes to human connection, yeah, I mean, it's a bit cold to deal with a robot or a software. There's no doubt about that. All right, so all in all, out of this list, let me just go over it real quick. I think that social workers, I think tradespeople, and I think idea generators, people that have to generate ideas for a living, they're pretty solid when it comes to their safety and not having AI take their job over, so to speak, or replace them. But other jobs, I think AI need to be incorporated into those fields in order to stay relevant. All right, and this is just one person's opinion. Look, I'm not trying to force people to believe what I believe. This is just my opinion on the whole take of AI and what professions I think will be safe and how to navigate through this this technology that's developing, right? Because it's coming, it's here. Um, I would like everyone to be successful in whatever they pick, and this is the trend that I see. So I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, could you please hit that like button? I'm Vince from Digital Nomad Institute. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.